We're going to start with the nation. NNPCL. Marketers differ over lingering petrol scarcity. PDP G5 governors, also known as Integrity Group, won't bow to intimidation, says PDP Group. Can't Nigerians vote your conscience? Court sustains injunction stopping Nigeria air takeoff. African teams in sloppy World Cup start. Tinubu, our review policies hindering commerce in the southeast. Adeleke, our sack perm sex inaugurated by Oyetola. This story we're starting with.
Okay, should I go with the Nigerian air story? So,
yes, please.
Yes, the Federal Court in Lagos has reiterated the what's it called again? Injunction, compelling all parties in the Nigerian air matter to retain status quo and maintain status quo and stay the situation as it is. And we are all aware of how this what's it called? The registered trustees of the airline operators of Nigeria and 5 other others in the aviation industry sued the federal government and the Ethiopian airline and the Minister for Aviation and the Minister for Justice to court over this Nigerian air wahala. But the federal government side had gone to court to ask the court to strike out the name of the registered trustees of Nigerian airline operators of Nigeria as parties in that suit, and then to declare its own inclusion as invalid. But then the court said no, just maintain status quo until we finish this matter well, substantively, and then we can see where the things will go.
Yeah, so that's the Christian Association of Nigeria yesterday is urging Nigerians to vote according to their conscience in the 2023 presidential election. The president, Archbishop Daniel Oko, said that the body expects that whoever wins will meet the demands of Nigerians. And this was articulated, they said, in the Charter for a New Nigeria, which they presented to presidential candidates. They said that they also acknowledged that the presidential candidates have come to meet with the association to discuss, what they are hoping to provide for Nigerians, and that they are, dialoguing with them and asking them questions and, and listening to them exactly what their plans are for Nigerians. So it does not end up being those things that they just tell Nigerians, and then Nigerians, the moment you're elected, we're waiting for the implementation of all the promises. That this time around, their door is also open to continue the conversation even when you're elected. But he said to Nigerians should listen to each and every one of these candidates and decide for themselves. So I'm happy this stands, right? Because usually with religious bodies, you tend to hear, vote because this person is this particular religion, or vote because this person is particular ethnicity. And I wonder, are we not further fueling the differences? But Khan is asking Nigerians to pay attention to what is important, exactly what it is that they're doing, what they have done before, and what they're promising to provide us.
So the G5 governors of the PDP are popularly known as Integrity Group. We're in Abia State yesterday. Governor Wike was there to support the PDP candidates of the governorship and also the senatorial seats. He said that the G5 governors will continue to support all the candidates of the PDP in Abia State. There's nothing like them going back, and he has told the people to do whatever Governor Ipiazu tells them to do. Governor Tomtu was there. He was saying that Governor Wike had supported. He said that Governor Wike had provided enormous encouragement, support, and leadership in the battle against the forces frustrating the PDP from winning the 2023 general elections. He also said that these 5 governors, the Integrity Group, of course, believe in equity, fairness, and justice. I would never succumb to any intimidation. That they're going to be resolute in staying in the party. They are planning on leaving the party, but they will stand against this imposition of Senator Ayu. Yes, they're fighting for the soul of the party.
Wow. Let me take the story of the lingering petrol scarcity. They said that the NNPCL and the IPMAN and the MOMAN, there's a difference in how their reasons. The IPMAN, those that are selling on the people that run the filling station, independent marketers, are saying that there's no availability of this product. NNPCL says that they have enough petrol available. They said they have dead stock as well as inclusive of the dead stock, all available, calculating based on 60,000 60 million liters per day. They have enough to last 33 days. So the issue is they have. But why is there scarcity? They are not answering, because the Punch said they reached out to them. They didn't get a message. They sent a text message to the NMDPRA spokesperson as well as the NNPCL Group General Manager for Public Affairs, and they didn't get a reply concerning why there's scarcity. The major oil marketers are getting it directly from NNPC, and they're the only ones NNPC is giving. The independent marketers are saying that they are not getting officially from NNPC. They're not even getting from the major oil marketers. They're getting from private depots, and private depots are selling to them at 200 naira, 195 naira per liter. That NNPC should prevail on the depots to sell to them at the official rate, because they cannot sell less than how much they are getting. So my concern is, if we have a pricing model that everybody is aware of, why are some people selling higher than the official pricing model?
You know the answer to that question.
Okay, let me just also add,
but the point is, they're not saying NNPC officially is not giving that response. They are meant to be the one to coordinate it, even though they have said technically deregulated. Okay. The complaints are coming from the private owners and not from NNPC and major oil marketers.
Let me get what you...
I just want to add, because I read part of the story, maybe to show the difference in prices. They're saying that, as you said, they bring in these products at 205, and then they add 13 naira transportation to the cost. And so that's why, for them that are getting it from third parties, their prices are different from those.
NNPC should sell to everybody. NNPC has the exclusive right to import fuel.
I got mine 230 yesterday. So I have the story with the reps worrying about the FG China deal. So what happened was that the federal government, under the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, had a company called Galaxy Backbone Limited, which went into a deal with China's Huawei to provide fiber infrastructure. The first phase was worth about $475 million, which the federal government had released, and China was supposed to provide this infrastructure and then be able to generate about billions of naira of revenue to the Nigerian government. Now, this fiber infrastructure was supposed to ease data movements within ministries, departments, agencies across the country in various states. So they had gone a few states. They were coming back for the second tranche, which is about $322 million. And the federal government says, calm down. You have to, don't release the certificates of completion yet. We have to investigate that. They denied them oversight to go and see how much of the work was done. They've not seen it. And they are hearing of these bogus figures of billions generated. How do we know? We need to see it first before we can then approve. Which is a good thing. So at least that wouldn't happen the way they want it. Okay, so another story in Punch, let's run off. Yes, I want to take the story of the appointment of 30. Well, this happened in Osun State, where Governor Adegboyega Oyetola appointed 30 new permanent secretaries. But the governor-elect that elected Ademola Adeleke has signed a statement to his spokesperson saying that we want to put it on record that those who accept the appointment should be ready to leave service, whether or not their service tenure has reached the statutory age. So the occupants will be treated as political appointees who will automatically be following the outgoing governor on the 28th of November. So they will just have 3 days of being permanent secretaries. I really feel concerned about this, because the ministry should be continuum. Government is continuum, and we shouldn't politicize any appointment. Neither should you be appointing somebody 3 days to you leave in the office. Don't let...
What's the summer now?
Let us move on to Daily Sun. Can State stands on 2023 elections? Ex-SGF Babashir Lawal's group endorses Peter Obi. I'll address agitations in Southeast Tinubu. NSA gives reasons for proliferation of illicit arms. Senate committee clears Umana, dismisses the 480 billion naira fraud allegation. I'll set aside $10 billion for youth employment, youth employment and women, if elected, says Atiku. FG reintroduces history in basic schools, begin training of 3,700 teachers in subjects. Okay.
Yeah, so the federal government, 13 years after history was abolished in our educational system, it has finally been reintroduced. And the Minister for Education, who was represented by the Minister of State for Education, Goodluck Opia, said that, first of all, what even the removal of history from our curriculum was a monumental mistake with with a lot of impact on our society, our children and our society. He says that, but so far the government has gone ahead to employ 3,700 teachers, have been shortlisted. 3,700 teachers have been shortlisted. They'll be trained on the subject and make sure that they are skilled enough to teach it to our children. He says that the loss of, taking history out of our curriculum created an absence, created a fall in moral values, erosion of civic values, and disconnect from the past. I mean, I always, every time I hear about this history, I thought we had reintroduced it a long time ago. So one, it's news to me that we're just reintroducing it. And secondly, the fact that we even did it at all is just embarrassing. And I hope that this means that this would never be done again. Can you imagine that there are some children for 13 years that have never heard of Jaja or Popo?
Just say never passed like that. Well, the NSA is giving reasons for why there's proliferation of small arms and illicit arms in Nigeria. And although he was represented at this event, the event is the symbolic destruction of 3,000 illicit small light weapons and ammunition and associated materials for the control of small arms and light weapons at the Nigerian Army Depot, Rigachi Kun, Kaduna. And he blamed this on the global community's failure to control the availability of illicit small arms. And he says that this has continued to undermine global peace and significantly hinder development across sub-Saharan Africa. He continues to talk about how the proliferation causes slow development within Nigeria particularly. And he was represented at that event by the Director of Policy and Strategy, Office of the NSC, Ambassador Aminu Lawal.
Okay, let's move on to Vanguard.
Yeah, I want to quickly take the story of the promises of the presidential candidate for PDP, who was speaking at the Ilorin Metropolitan Park in Kwara with the PDP chairman, Ayu, and the conversation was on the fact that he made this very huge promise. I was reading to see if he mentioned how he was going to get the fund, but he said $10 billion will be set aside to create employment and boost small and medium-scale enterprises to help employment drive for youth and women in the country. He said that these funds would also, once there was employment, they would tackle insecurity. And Senator Bukola Saraki, who is the national leader of the party within the state, mentioned 4 years ago that if they voted APC, they would be hungry, and now that they are hungry, it's time for them to kick out APC and bring in PDP. That starting from Kwara State, they want to bring in PDP with the hope that it would solve hunger problem in all position. But I want our campaign to not focus on yabbing the current system. Honestly, we are tired. We are all feeling it. Let our campaign focus on how you want to solve the problem, what you would do differently, so if you get into power, we can truly hold you accountable on what you've said.
Moving on quickly to Vanguard, let's find a story we've not taken. Why Niger Republic named road after Buhari's presidency. Brain drain. We now have 1 doctor to 6,400 patients, says medical experts.
Wonderful.
2023, APC makes U-turn, declares support for beavers and IREV. No rift between Obi and me, says Soludo. Nigeria ranks first amongst world's cannabis-use countries, says Buba Marwa. Okay, which story?
Okay, so the Brigadier General Buba Marwa, that's the CEO of NDLEA, at the Vanguard Mental Health Summit, revealed that a survey that had been organized by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime shows that in 2018, about 14.4%, that Nigeria as of 2018 had a 14.4% drug use prevalence. And as of today, we are the country that uses cannabis the most. He said that before the survey, we just had sketchy data here and there, but the survey was able to, bring it to reality, how much this drug abuse had permeated our society. And he said that, yes, if you even look at the numbers, if you hear, 10.6 million Nigerians abuse cannabis, it doesn't really mean a lot to you. But if you were to compare it to some countries, that 10.6 million Nigerians, if you compare it to countries like Portugal and UAE, you realize that the population of Nigerians smoking cannabis is even more than some countries, like, put together. And that this abuse of this drug has so many effects on us. The impact is worrisome, and for me, I think it's very important. You know, we constantly talk about data. Many times when we just say things, because we don't have data, we don't realize how deep the impact is. And now that we know how widespread this is, I hope that it will make us all sit up. Schools need to sit up in educating our children. Children, young adults need to also understand that this is not the right way to go, and it has so many ill effects.
Yes.
Okay, I was going to take the Niger Republic as it's a very short story. Niger Republic named the road after our president, and the president is really happy that this is a sign of good bilateral relationship. Apparently, before this, our current president, Muhammadu Buhari, previous Nigerian leadership don't even talk to Niger. And the president's aide is saying that having a good relationship with your neighbor because of the insecurity challenges that we have along that belt is essential to us being able to relate with them to reduce proliferation of arms being moved in and out of the country, and that this naming of a road by the Niger government, naming it after president, is an indication that we are now leaving the administration a solid relationship with Niger, and the new president should continue.